Hello students, welcome to Easy Science YouTube channel. I am Santoshi Neeraja. I am very much passionate about teaching. That's why I started my YouTube channel. So in this channel, I'll explain the concepts of biology and chemistry which will be useful for the students who are studying from class 8th to 12th. Right, so please subscribe to Easy Science YouTube channel, and in the right corner you have a bell icon. Please click the bell icon for all categories. You will never miss an update from my channel. So let's move to our class today. That is, today we'll discuss about taxonomic categories. Right. Yesterday we discussed about taxonomy, isn't it? Part 1 we have discussed about taxonomy, right? So what is mean by taxonomy? It's nothing but classification. See how the classification can be done. See, grouping of the organism based on the observable characters is known as classification. In case of the living organisms also, we are grouping the organisms based on the observable characters, and this phenomena we called it as taxonomy. Right. Classification cannot be done in a single step. Right, it needs, like, it will be done in like group of steps will be there, and this we called it as hierarchy of taxonomy. It cannot be done in one step. Several steps will be there in classification, and all these steps together we called it as the hierarchy of taxonomy. Right, like we have this group or category. Right, see on what basis we grouped the living organisms. See, in taxonomy, like in classification, the grouping of organisms is not just merely by the external characters which are able to observe, right? It is not according to the appearance of the organisms. It's not according to the appearance of the organism. Just like outside behavior, we won't observe appearance. Based on that appearance, we would not group the organisms, right? So what is the basis for grouping of organisms is, like, for example, there is a group which contains different organisms. So how the organisms are like kept in that group means, the reason is they are sharing some similarities. It's not like grouping of the organisms is not done by just appearance. We are characterizing the organisms and classifying the organisms based on these characters. The organisms which are sharing the similar characters will be made under a group. That group we called it as a category. Scientifically, category we called it as taxa, or this is a plural word. In singular word we call it as taxon, and this taxon which leads to taxonomy, that's individual taxon we called it as. Each taxon is termed as a taxonomic category which finally leads to the taxonomy, that is, which finally leads to classification. So that is about taxonomic categories. Like living organisms are grouped into some categories. So this grouping is not just merely by their appearance. We characterized, that is, organisms we observe, and the characters of the organisms we'll observe, and some of the organisms will identify that they are sharing some common characters. So the organisms which are sharing some common characters will comes under one group or category. Scientifically, the category was given a name taxa, and this finally leads to taxonomy. That's why we call this is known as, each category we known as taxonomic category. Why we are giving the name taxonomic category means it finally leads to classification, right? So by like dividing the organisms or by classifying the organism or by grouping the organisms, biologists have developed some ranks or categories in order to classify the organisms. So they lead to a conclusion of some ranks or categories through which organisms are grouped. So let's discuss about that each group. So the different groups that biologists have formed are like kingdom, phylum, class, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Right. This each one kingdom is called as a taxonomic category. It's a taxonomic category. It's a rank. It's a category through which or into which organisms are grouped. Like every rank we called it as a taxonomic category, and all together we considered as hierarchy of taxonomy. It's totally we called it as hierarchy of taxonomy. Right. So let's discuss about each category in this lesson. Right. Like first is species. Right. The word species was proposed by John Ray. And how will you define a species? See, generally, species is defined as the group of organisms which can interbreed themselves. Which can interbreed themselves and give rise to their offsprings. Species is a taxonomical category, and remember, whether they are plants or animals also, species is considered as the lowest or the smallest category. It is the lowest or the smallest category. So how can you describe or how can you define species? Means species are considered as the group of organisms which can interbreed themselves, and that means the group of the organisms have the capacity of sexual participating in sexual reproduction and give rise to their offsprings. That group of organism is termed as species. But there is a problem that all the organisms cannot be reproduced sexually. There are some organisms which can reproduce only by a sexual mode of reproduction. So, but generally, the definition of species means what? These are the group of organisms which can interbreed themselves and give rise to their offsprings. Like Linnaeus proposed that the species are static. That means they do not produce any changes. For example, the species which is like, for example, if we take Homo sapiens, we are human beings are like our zoological name is Homo sapiens. That means we belong to the species sapiens, and if you observe the sapiens of the past and present day sapiens, the species do not have any changes. He explained that species is a static thing which do not produce any changes. Later Lamarck proposed that the species are dynamic. They are not static. Species are dynamic because continuously they are reproducing and producing changes. What are the reason for producing changes? Means continuously our environment is changing, right? The organism has to change itself according to the changing environment in order to live better in the environment. Otherwise the organism will be eliminated from this environment. So in order to suit better to the living environment, continuously the species are producing changes. Changes leads to evolution. this was proposed by Lamarck. Species are dynamic, continuously they produce changes, right? And if you observe the past species and present day species, you can observe a lot of changes. And one more particular thing is, the species which is present in the past, which has not evolved, cannot able to interbreed with the same species present in the, like, which is present in the present stage. A lot of changes occurs in the species of present stage, and if the species was present in that past only and does not develop any changes, lose its capacity of interbreeding with the same species also, right? See, species means we have gave a solid definition that the group of organisms which can interbreed themselves. We are saying that the organisms have the capacity of interbreeding themselves and producing their offsprings. Right? If species do not produce any change, right, if really like Linnaeus proposition, or like propose that the species are static, that they does not get like produce any changes, means they cannot be live in this environment, right? So Lamarck changed that they continuously produce changes, and for example, by mistake, one species which is lived in the past has not developed any changes, and by a chance it has met the same species which is in the present environment, who had lived in the past. Now it met with the species in the present environment, like the species which is in the past has lost his interbreeding capacity with the same species which is lived in the present condition, because the present species have developed a lot of changes, which loses automatically, naturally loses its capacity of interbreeding with its own species which are living in the past, right? So species are dynamic, and this is the lowest category of taxonomical unit, right? And the next one is, after species we have genus, right? Genus means the group of species. Like we have different species, right? Yesterday also we discussed that we have totally 1.7 to 1.8 millions of species throughout the, like, which are present on the surface of the earth, which we called it as biodiversity, right? There are some group of species, like we have differently. Here I have given one example. See, this is Solanum melangina, sorry, and it is tuberosum. Melangina and tuberosum are two different species, but these two species are sharing some common characters. These two species have some common characters. That's why both the species are kept under same genus, that is Solanum. So genus is the next order of taxonomical category. After species we have genus. So genus contains group of organisms. What organisms you have in genus? Group of different species you have. In genus you have different species, group of species which are sharing some common characteristics. And in case of the animals, if you take like leo, tigris and pardus, like lion, tiger, leopard, three are different species. Lion belongs to the species leo, tigris belongs to the species, sorry, tiger belongs to the species tigris, and pardus belong to the, leopard belongs to the species Pardus. All these three species were grouped because all the three species are sharing some common characters, right? Because all the three are carnivores, we can say that. Like you can ask what type of similar characters they are sharing. All the three are carnivorous, which eat only animals, right? That's a common character, right? So all the three species are sharing some common characters. That's why all the three species are kept in the same genus called Panthera. So genus is a taxonomical category which contains a group of different species which are sharing similar characters. See, they have individually, they have different characters, but all the three, some of the similar characters they will share. I am not saying that all the species are sharing similar characters. Individually, they have different characteristics, right? But some common characteristics they are sharing. As they are sharing some common characteristics, they are comes under one genus that we called it as Panthera, right? So after genus we have family. After genus we have family. The same thing, after the next taxonomical category is family. After species we have genus, genus after we have family. Here, how can you explain family? What is a family? See, every category or every taxonomical category we are saying that contains a group of organisms. Like what type of group of organisms are present in a family means, family also contains a group of organisms. What group of organisms? Family contains different genus groups which are sharing some common characters. In case of the plants which belongs to the same family are like organisms, like plants are different plants are grouped into same family based on the vegetative and reproductive features of the plants. For example, Solanum, Petunia, Datura. Solanum, Petunia, Datura. These three are different genus, right? These three genus have grouped into a family called Solanaceae. See, individually they are different genus, but they are sharing, all the three genus are sharing some common characters. So based on the sharing of some common characters, they all comes under one family. And in case of the animals, Panthera, we observed in genus, like it has three different species like Leo, Tigris, right? And Panthera, Felis. Felis is cat family, right? It's like Felis group means it's a genus which contains cats, right? These two are different genus, but some of the common characters they are sharing. Panthera and Felis are sharing some, these two different genus are sharing some common characters. That's why they comes under same family, that Felidae, right? So family, the next order of the next rank after genus, which contains a group of genus. Family contains a group of genus which are sharing some common characteristics. So Felidae is a family which contains group of genus. What group of genus it has? Panthera and Felis. See, that means lion, tiger, leopard, cats all comes under same family, that is Felidae, right? And Solanum, Petunium, Datura, they all comes under, like potato, Datura, they all comes under same family called Solanaceae, right? The next category, taxonomical category is order, right? This category, like for example, in family I said, in case of the plants, the animals are grouped based on the vegetative and the reproductive features of that plants, right? And in case of like the next taxonomical order, organisms are grouped based on the aggregation of characters. Aggregation of characters. It's not segregation, separation, not aggregation. Combining characters. See, order also contains a group of organisms. What group of organisms it has? It has a group of different families. Order has different group of, it has group of different families which are sharing some common characters, and the characters are formed by aggregation of character. They are grouped based on the aggregation of characters, that is combination of characters they are showing. Group of families exhibit few similar characters. So similar characters are less in number when compared to different genera, right? See, families contains genera, different genera, and different families comes under the same order. That means nothing but they have different genera, and in that order, if you observe different genera, right, similar characters are very less, but based on the aggregation of the characters, they all comes under one order. Like for example, the families Convoluceae and Solanaceae, they were included in the one order, that is Polymoniales. Like the animal order, Carnivora. This is order Carnivora. In case of animals, like we saw that panther genus is there, right? And Felidae family is there. It includes Felidae and Canidae. See, Felidae means contains the families, like Felidae is a family which contains the genus Panthera and Felis. I said Panthera means lions, tigers, leopards are there. Felis contains cats. Now these all comes under the order Carnivora, which also contains the family Canidae. This is dogs. So when you comes to order, lion, tiger, leopard, cats, dogs all comes under one order called Carnivora. So if you observe the different genus, like genera, if you observe, like Panthera, you have different genera like Leo, Tigris, Pardus, and even cats if you observe, or even if you observe individually, if you observe the organisms, you find less similarities. But all these organisms are sharing some common characteristics, and these characters are nothing but the aggregation of the characters, combining of the characters they are showing. That's why they all comes under one order. So order, see, every category contains group of organisms. We already mentioned that in starting only. Every taxonomical category has a group of organisms. Then if order is one taxonomical category, what group of organisms are present? It has different families, groups of different families which are sharing similar characters are present. So families Convolusiae and Solanaceae are comes under one order, that is Polymoniales. And here in case of animals, Carnivora is a order which contains families like Felidae and Canidae. Felidae contains what families? It contains a group of genus. Felidae is a family which contains a genus called Panthera and cat family, Felis family. Panthera means lion, tiger, leopard, and cat family means it is Felis family is present. Both comes under the family Felidae. All the like genus will comes under the family Felidae. Along with Felidae and Canidae, they form a one order called Carnivora. Canidae means it is the family of the dogs. Individually, if you observe Felidae and Canidae, like cats and dogs, you find like lot of differences, but both are comes under the same order, Felidae and Canidae. That cats and dogs are present in the same order, that is Carnivora, because both the organisms, like organisms which are present in both the families, are sharing some common characteristics. Like individually, if you observe the organism, you find a lot of dissimilarities, but they are sharing some common characteristics which makes the organisms to comes under one order, right? The next one is class. The next taxonomical category is class. See, it also like every taxonomical category contains group of organisms. What group of organisms means? Related orders, that is group of orders. It is class is a group of orders. So group of organisms belongs to different orders which are sharing similar characteristics will comes under one class. For example, primata, like monkey, gorilla and gibbon. They were placed in the class Mammalia. Monkey, gorilla, gibbon are placed in the class Mammalia along with the orders. See, primata is a order, and this order, like here I am writing, so primata, and the order Carnivora, which contains lion, tiger, leopard, cat, dogs, all comes under the order Carnivora. And primata is one of the order which contains monkeys, gorilla, gibbon. These two orders contains different organisms, and all the organisms were grouped into a class. into one class, and that class we called it as Mammalia. See, Primata and Carnivora belongs to the same class. Even though both are different orders, they belongs to the same class, that is Mammalia. Maybe if you individually observe the organisms, you can find a lot of differences, but if they were grouped based on the similar characters they are sharing, right? Can you ma'am, can you say any similarity between these two organisms? Yes, definitely, they are giving rise to their young ones. That is one of the common character, and all have external ears, and fertilization takes place internally. All these are not similar characteristics, right? Individually if you observe, they have a lot of dissimilarities, but they are sharing some common characteristics which makes both the orders to come under a single class, right? And the next one is, the next taxonomical unit is phylum. So phylum contains a group of organisms. What organisms? Different classes. Organisms of different classes were grouped to form one phylum. Like, for example, classes. In the previous slide, we have seen that classes, primates and one more is what? Carnivora. Both the orders will comes under one class called Mammalia, right? And the classes comprising Mammalia is one class, and the remaining classes like fishes is one class. We called it as spices. Amphibians, reptiles, birds means aves, along with mammals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals are different classes, right? All these classes were grouped and form the next higher taxonomical category called phylum. So phylum is the next category after class, where it contains a group of different classes which are sharing common characteristics. For example, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, along with the mammals, they all constitute the next higher category called phylum. So what are the similar characters they are sharing means, like the common features like the presence of notochord, dorsal hollow neural system is present. They all comes under the phylum Chordata. Which phylum they belongs to? Fishes, amphibians, reptile, birds and mammals will comes under the phylum Chordata. What is the common feature they are sharing means the presence of notochord and the dorsal hollow neural system. So, but in case of the plants, we won't use the term phylum. We use the term division for the case of the plants. Like closely related plants, classes of the plants will comes under a group called division, right? And finally, the closely related phylums leads to a group of organism called kingdom. See, whatever may be the animals, whether they are egg-laying animals or they are giving rise to their young ones, which are living inside the water, which are living on the land, and which can live on land and water. Whatever may be the organism, they all comes under same kingdom, that is Animalia, and all the plants will comes under the kingdom called Plantae. So kingdom contains group of organisms. What group of organisms they contain? Different phylums they contain. Kingdom contains different groups of phylums which are sharing some common characteristics. So ma'am, can you tell me the common characteristics of Animalia? Yes, all are heterotrophs, which is a common character sharing by all the organisms, depend on other animals and plants for their nutrition, right? So if you observe, lot of similar characters will be there. So here I have given one example, right? Common name man, human beings, like the biological name is Homo sapiens. They belongs to the genus Homo, and we belongs to the family Hominidae, and order Primata. We also belongs to the order Primata, right? And class Mammalia. That means we all comes under one class, that is Mammalia, where primates are present, cats are present, dogs are present, lion, tiger, leopard. We all belongs to the same class, that is Mammalia. We all belongs to the phylum chordata. So in case of the animals we use phylum, and in case of the plants we use division. Housefly, its biological name is Musca domestica and its genus name is Musca, and family name is Muscidae, and order is Diptera, and it belongs to the class Insecta and belongs to the phylum Arthropoda. Mango Mangifera indica, like its botanical name, it belongs to the genus Mangifera and family Enarchidaceae, and order is Sapindales, and the class is Dicotyledone, and phylum, no, we won't use the word phylum here, we use the word division here, it's Angiospermae. Wheat Triticum aestivum and genus is Triticum, family Poaceae family, order Poles, and it belongs to the class Monocotyledone, and the division is Angiospermae. Like that, like the smallest order, like the smallest taxonomical unit is species. Species means we describe that the group of organisms which can interbreed themselves and give rise to their offspring is termed as species, right? So group of different species which are sharing some common characters will comes under genus. Group of different genus which are sharing some common characters will comes under like family. After family, different families sharing some common characters, order. Order after we have order after we have phylum after we have kingdom. So this is the hierarchy of taxonomy, right? Group of organisms which can interbreed themselves is known as species. Group of different species like which are sharing common characters will comes under genus. The group of different genus sharing some common characters comes under same family. Group of different families sharing some common characters will comes under order, and the group of orders which are sharing different orders sharing some common characters will comes under class. Group of classes sharing some common characters will comes under phylum, and group of phylum will comes under one kingdom. So this is about the hierarchy of taxonomy, which starts with like species and ends with kingdom, right? In case of like plants, we instead of phylum we'll use division for plants, right? The next one is taxonomical aids. See, taxonomy is very useful, that is classification is very useful, like in the fields of agriculture, forestry, industry, bioresources, diversity. Classification, why we are discussing about that? Classification means, see, the process of grouping of organisms into categories depending upon the observable characters, we called it as classification. Like grouping or categorizing the organisms based on the observable characters is known as taxonomy. Scientifically we called it as taxonomy. See, what are the advantages of taxonomy? Why we are discussing about taxonomy means, see, the taxonomical studies are very much useful in the fields of agriculture, forestry, industries, bioresources, whatever the bioresources which are present in the interior of the earth, diversity, how many different living organisms are staying on the earth. So it helps in all these fields, right? And what is the basis, like primary source of taxonomic studies? Means taxonomy is very much useful in all the fields. And now my question is, what is the primary source of taxonomic studies? How can like biologists are able to classify the organisms? That is mainly due to the collection of specimens of animals and plant species. Biologists, whether he is a botanist or zoologist, that is the person who study plants, we called it as botanists. And the person who study animals, we called it as zoologist. And these both together we called it as biologists. So how biologists lead to taxonomical studies, like how they will study the taxonomy, how they started classification. What is the primary source of classification means? That is the collection of specimens of animals and plant species. They collect different specimens of plants and animals, which helps in their classification studies. So whatever they collected, the collected specimens of plants and animals, we called it as taxonomical aids, which are very much useful in taxonomical studies. So what are the different types of taxonomical aids which help in taxonomic studies? Like I have given, see, these are the different taxonomical aids which help in classification. So they are, like, I started from here. One is herbarium, right? And the second one is botanical garden. Third one is zoological parks. Fourth one is museum. And fifth one is keys. And sixth one is flora. Seventh one is manual. And eighth one is a monograph. So these are the different taxonomical aids which help the biologist in classification of the living organisms. See, we have observed now different taxonomical categories like species, genus, right, families, right, order, class, phylum, kingdom. Different taxonomical categories we have. Like, now the question is, how can we like grouped organisms into different taxonomical categories, right? That is depending upon the characterization. Like one organism has grouped into one taxonomical category. My question is, how can we group it? How it is possible to group the organisms into different categories? That means you have the knowledge of characters of that particular organism. See, you are observing one living organism, whether it is a plant or animal, you are observing. So the main point what you observed is, you have to observe its characteristics. Depending upon the characteristics, you will identify the organism. See, in the previous class also we discussed the process of taxonomy. 4 processes are there. First is characterization. You have to observe the characters of the living organism. After the observation of the characters, you have to identify it. After identification, you will classify it. After classification, you will name that. That is nomenclature. So in order to keep an organism into a taxonomic category, you have the basic knowledge of characterization. You have to observe the characters of the organisms. So taxonomical aids help in biologists in order to classify the organisms. Aids are nothing but, what are taxonomical aids? They are nothing but the collected specimens of plants and animals. Like this collected specimens of plants and animals were of different categories. Different categories are there. What are the taxonomical aids means? Herbarium, botanical garden, zoological park, museum, keys, flora, manual, monograph. And let's discuss about each and every taxonomical aid in this class, right? So what is a herbarium? I'll show you the picture of herbarium. So this is an example of herbarium. So by seeing that, you have an idea what is an herbarium. Herbarium is the collected specimen of different plants which are dried and pressed and attached to a sheet. And if you observe, there is a label which explains like what markings are there in the label. See, the person who collected this specimen, date of collection, place of collection, what is the local name of this specimen, what is the botanical name of this specimen, everything will be written here in the herbarium. So herbariums means what? The collected specimens of plants, different specimens of plants which are dried and pressed and they were attached. See, if you observe tapes are present. They are attached these specimens to the sheet with the help of tapes. And for identification purpose, we have a label here showing that what the label will indicates, that means who collected this specimen, that is name of the person who collected this specimen, on what date he collected, at which place he collected this specimen, what is the local name. See, in one place he collected this specimen, and in that place this specimen, like this particular plant has a local name, right? He will write that local name, botanical name he will write, right? And he will botanical name and family, like it belongs to which genus, it belongs to which like after genus we have family after we have order after we have class. All he may not be written, phylum or family he may return on this, he or she may return on this. So those we called it as herbarium. So dried means you can identify that herbarium contains specimens of the plants only, not animals. Herbariums do not have animals, only plant. Like they are the specimens of the plants which are in dried condition. That means they are not living, right? The next one is botanical gardens. See, botanical gardens means specimens of different kinds of plants are there. It's a botanical garden. Botany means a study of the plants. So the garden contains different specimens of plants which are labeled, like this is this botanical name is this one and it belongs to this family. Like some identification, like some indications are there on the particular specimen of the plant, and they were naturally growing in this garden. Such gardens we called it as botanical gardens, where we contains a large number of specimens of plants in living conditions which are growing, right? So the largest botanical garden is Kew, which is present in England, and Indian Botanical Garden in Howrah, and National Botanical Research Institute, this is present in Lucknow, are examples of different botanical gardens, right? And the next one is zoological parks. See, generally animals lives in the forest, right? So we provide an environment what is available in case of the forest. The same environment we provide, and we collected specimens of different animals and we grow the animals in that area under human care. Such places we called it as zoological parks, and commonly we call them as zoo. Zoo contains different species of animals and information about the animals, like they belongs to which species, which genus, and which family, which order, which class, which phyla. Like all information will be available with the persons who are working in the zoo. See, the features of the park are same as it is whatever is available in the forest, and animals are under human care. And this is one of the taxonomical aid which helps in identification purpose of different specimens of animals, right? The next one is museums. Museums can be present in colleges, schools, and universities also, where the dead organisms, specimens of dead organisms are present in the jar of special liquids where organisms are present, and on the jar there will be a label showing it belongs to which genus and which species, like which class, like that markings will be there on the jar. Even insects also present in the insect boxes, they were stick to it, pinned to it, and present in the insects boxes. So in museum you can find out different kinds of specimens of animals and plants also. In case of the museum, it is available to see the skeleton of animals also, right? This is also one of the taxonomical aid which helps in identification purpose. And the next one is keys, right? So key is a taxonomical unit, right? I'll show you here. Key means, like, lock, key, a pair, couplet, right? Without lock, key is not useful, and without key, lock is not useful, right? That lock and key, always we say that lock and key, it's a couplet, right? So taxonomical aid key is also a couplet. So couplet in the sense of two statements. They contains two statements, and the statements are like the two statements are contradiction, like exactly opposite. For example, I'm writing here a key which contains two statements. The statements I am writing: autotrophic, heterotrophic. Autotrophic and heterotrophic I am writing. So this is a key, contains two statements, and the two statements are exactly opposite to each other. Yes, you know, autotrophic means they can prepare their own food. Heterotrophic means they depend on other animals and plants for their nutrition. So the two statements are exactly opposite to each other, and these two statements together we called it as a couplet. And individually each statement is known as lead, is called as lead. There is a choice. In both the leads, one can be accepted and one can be rejected. For example, here, see, I'll take one more color. Here I have written cat. So you have to choose one of the statement for this living organism. Right. Both the statements you can't choose. Key contains two statements, which is a choice. One can be accepted and one can be rejected. Both the statements we individually called it as lead. So if I have given cat, what statement you will accept for cat? You will accept for heterotrophic. Isn't it? So heterotrophic is a lead for cat. And autotrophic is rejected. So key is a taxonomical aid which contains two contrasting statements, and these two statements we called it as couplet. It is a choice. You can choose one of this, and both the statements individually we called it as lead. One is accepted and other one is rejected, right? And this is one of the taxonomical aid, right? The next one is flora. You know very well what is meant by flora. Flora means that plants which are growing in that area, right? About the flora, there will be a manual. Manual is nothing but an information of the different kinds of plant species which are growing in that area. Flora means which the specimens of different kinds of plant species growing in that area. The information about different species in that area, growing in that area, is present in the manual, right? The last one is monograph. Monograph will gives you a complete information about any taxonomical like category. For example, like I have taken genus. Genus is a taxonomical category, and I asked about like the human beings, like for example, Mangifera indica, mango botanical name. It belongs to the genus Mangifera. I want information about genus Mangifera. I can get the whole information by monograph. Monograph is a taxonomical aid which gives a complete information about the taxonomical category. Like what information it will give means anatomy, what about the internal structure, like physiology, what are the life processes that takes place in that group of genus, and what is the mode of reproduction, whether the reproduction is sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction, biochemistry, like what type of chemicals are present inside the living organism. See, whatever you have, you need the information that can be present in the monograph. So these are the different taxonomical aids which help in classification of organisms. So this is part 2 of our living world, the diversity in the living world. So in the next class, like, I'll come with the questions which can be asked in this topic, right? So I hope you all like the video. Please subscribe to Easy Science YouTube channel, and the right hand side corner you have a bell icon. Please click the bell icon for all categories. You will never miss an update from my channel.